Would it be a Send It Saturday without Sharks and Sports and J Money is Money talking some NBA basketball with a slight violin playing? I don't know if this is a New York Philharmonic or if it's NBA talk, but I do know one thing. J Money is cash money, 17-3 in the last 20. I am 3-0 in the last 3. Off the record, we talk about this every day. Trust me, the Shark is always in his element. I swept 2 days ago, didn't post. I should have posted. We're all about philanthropy. We're helping the people, but it is Send It Saturday. It is going down. Jay, what is going on, my man?
What's up, bro? Hey, chilling, man. Trying to keep the good vibes going, man. Like you say, the 17-3. That doesn't matter. I mean, that's in the past. We're trying to go 1-0 today, man. So it's all about today, trying to cash. Can't get too complacent. That's something I really talk about because I see teams, players get complacent when you're up, when you're down, kind of confidence being shaken. I've been there, both sides. But right now we're up. When you're hot, you're high. You got to keep it hot, man. Keeping a level head and just, you know what I'm saying, trying to stack up some wins out here. But we got a 7-game card today. It's Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to, I think this is where we have the most interaction on Saturday and Sunday weekend. People just like to come in and vibe with us, man. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Calvin, Lion Silver, Lucky, Mio, Adam, Tyreek Mims. What's up, bro? I see you, boy. Tyreek, that's my old partner right there. What's up, Fabio? Everybody in the chat, man. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe. If you guys, I see you down to earth. Exactly. I love it. What's up, men, Gwen? Everybody, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button. What's up, JT? I see you, my guy. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shar, what you want to do, bro? What you first game of the day? What you like? I mean, we like to go to our best.
I think we're going straight to 34th and 8th in a tumultuous, turning, tremendous 2021 campaign in the middle of New York City, Manhattan, New York. And we find the New York Knicks here. Coming in here off a blowout win against the hapless, pathetic Sacramento Kings. We had that correctly. We did not state on record they would score 77 points in the first half and 140 in the ball game, but we did say it was a potential trifecta. It was going to be a blowout, and we did nail it. Of course, I always say, find the consistency to the inconsistency. If sports betting was so easy, you could just take a team every day of the week to do the exact same thing, and there would be no thought required. What you have here today is you have basically the opposite of what happened last game. You find Indiana coming in here. Indiana, the opponent, which we are taking on record here, comes in here off the loss last night, which, did I mention, we had correctly as well. Boston minus 2.5. A ringer play, if I could say so myself. And anyway, Indiana comes in here showing a significant trend. This is not typical of most NBA teams. Most NBA teams play worse in the second leg of a back-to-back. Indiana plays better. I'm not entirely sure why. It's probably partially psychological. Some people are naturally procrastinators. They say, well, I got to do something tomorrow. I'm going to chill today. I'll save my best for last. I think Indy does this to a degree. And also you find a revenge game for Indy here. They did lose 106-102 to New York at home. They beat them prior by 18 at home. So Indy can handle them when they want to. And I think this really checks the boxes for Indy to come in here tonight and take care of business on minus 1.5.
It checks the boxes, bro. This is one that I was looking at last night. Obviously, the Knicks have been a lot hotter right now. They're playing a lot better basketball. It does give me a little bit of trepidation there. So, look, whether the Knicks are won, 6 out of their last 8 games, 7 out of the last 6 out of the last 8, and 7 out of the last 10, my guys. So the Knicks have been scorching hot right now. They did lose Mitchell Robinson, hadn't really taken a toll on them just yet. It did versus Golden State when they had Wiseman and Looney come back. They really missed Robinson in that one. They are missing Elfrid Payton as well. So they have 2 players that are still out, starting point guard, starting center. Hadn't really seemed to matter. Knicks are a really deep team. When you have like Alec Burks and Austin Rivers, guys like that coming off the bench, you are a really deep squad. They are facing a team that's just as deep as them, is my opinion. They match up very well with them. This might be one where they miss Payton. Definitely will miss Robinson banging down low against Sabonis and Turner. Sabonis like a point forward out there. Turner leading the league with like 4 blocks a game. Really my defensive player of the year. Man, I really do think that the Pacers can bounce back here. You said it, bro. The Pacers 5-1 against the spread in last 6 games playing on the back-to-back with 0 days rest. this is the spot for the Pacers. They like to do. They might take their loss in the first game, and then they'll bounce back, somewhat conserve some energy for the second game. I know the Knicks have been hot. I know that they've been balling, but this is one where the Pacers are back-to-back. And you look at it, they hadn't played in, a damn week before these couple of games, losses. I think they need this game a lot more. I actually roll with you on the Pacers with -1. I'm riding with you on that one, my guy. Well, I can't say you talked me into it. I already kind of liked it. It was a lean. I said on the HBR show earlier this morning, that Mavs, Pacers, Pelicans, and Nuggets were my heavy leans. So I'm riding with the Pacers with you on this one, man. I'm going with it, bro. It's not going to be my one official play, but I'm just want to let you guys know I am riding with my guy with the Pacers on that, my guy. Let's get to it, bro.
Yeah,
you want to go to this? What you got to say?
Here, we have a few leans. We're not going to really go into immense detail. 6-game card here. There are a few games with extreme counter narratives for both sides, which is what we try to avoid. The other one that I'm playing, I'm going to post it on Twitter. Minnesota +4. It was 4.5. I think sharp action's coming in on Minnesota. And I think what you really find here, I was making a couple comments privately to people. Look at what the Lakers were doing for a while. The Lakers were not covering games, but they were winning outright, and they were kind of teetering on the edge of losses, and we said it. And what do you know? They lost 4 straight. Minnesota is the polar opposite. If you go back, Minnesota has been right there, game and game and game and game after the next. They haven't won a lot of these games, but they are right there. They're covering games, and they are so much better than their straight-up record would suggest. And I think what you really find here is you find Washington coming in here off a 3-1 Pacific Coast trip. Washington is very hot. This is a revenge game. Washington did beat them by 21 points in Minnesota early season. However, I made the comment just on Twitter before. At that point in the season, Washington had not won a ball game. So you got their absolute best effort that night. They had to win, and they really showed up. That's not what's happening here. Washington's way too hot. Minnesota's way too cold. Revenge game, and the numbers correlating to it. Jay, comments?
Just the bullshit. Malcolm Brogdon questionable for what you call it, and it is some where sometimes you do have to wait to the last second to get on some of these games, and it could be Tarak on ice for the Knicks as well. But Brogdon questionable, guys. I can't say if that is a huge deal to me. If it's something that just came up on my phone, if anybody wants to stay away from this game, I definitely. It still would be Pacers or nothing for me. I'm not looking at the Knicks here. I think this is almost a must win for the Pacers. So be interesting to see what happens with Brogdon here. They're going to need them today because they already missed it. In the last game, the first 2 times these teams played earlier this year, the Pacers did have Oladipo. So those were super close games. Obviously, the Knicks had Mitchell Robinson and Payton as well, but they did have Oladipo. So it's somewhat different. They have been a different team without him. And I really need Brogdon to start point guard because like I just said, they're missing Payton in this game. You need Brogdon and the Holiday brothers to go off against those guards. So that's a real huge key to me to this game. It's not ruled out, just downgrade to questionable. So it's just something interesting for that. Still, Pacers are nothing for me.
One side comment on that, I would pay attention to the line. Mm-hmm. If he is announced out and the line does not move, that is the books telling you that the weighting is still the same for this Pacers group tonight as a unit. And I always say this, fantasy sports do hurt people's ability to prognosticate games with team sports because people focus a little bit too much on the players. Teams do function as units, and books grade games as team units, not players. So if it moves, they're telling you he's going to have a weighting, but if not, trust the number, and Indy's still the side here for sure. Gotcha.
And just a side comment to that, the point guard will always matter. Starting point guard for a team, maybe center 2 through 5, you know what I'm saying, may make a difference. Your starting point guard's out. That's the biggest fucking player on the team. Just trust me. Starting point guard and then backup point guard off the bench are 2 huge players. So if they are one player is going to miss the game, that's going to be the player that you want to watch out for. Maybe a big, maybe not so much. Wing player, shoot threes, maybe not so much. But the guy who the offense is going to run through, that's actually a big difference. But they got TJ McConnell out there, and I've seen him step in for somebody, not Brogdon, but I've seen him step in the starting lineup and flourish. So just be interesting to see. But if McConnell comes in for the starting point guard, then they won't then they'll have to go to Holiday off the bench. So they actually do have some guards that get it done, but I would really like for Brogdon to be in that one. Let's go to that. So what we was on that Timberwolves versus Wizards, on this Timberwolves versus Wizards. My guy saying he likes the Timberwolves here. I can't talk him out. I'll tell you guys my play on this game. So Beasley is out for this game. He will be out for 12 games. Obviously, a little suspension going on. He'll have to do little house arrest as well, if I'm not mistaken. So they won't have Beasley in here. He's been averaging like 20 points the past 4 games. He's really been their second best player over there. So that really does hurt him in this game. Obviously, the Timberwolves are still playing hard. They almost beat the Bulls, guys. We know how hard the Bulls are playing and how well they're playing. They took them to overtime and possibly could have won that game. Like I say, I know that the Wizards look really easy here. They have been the team that's playing a whole lot better. So you have the Timberwolves that are 0-6 ATS and straight up last 6 games. But on the flip side, you have the Wizards that are they've won 6 of 7 and are 6-1 ATS in those games. So these teams are moving in opposite directions. That does kind of scare me. I understand why the Sharps are on the Timberwolves. This is really so just looking at the spot, it's a terrible spot for the Wizards here. This is the first game coming back home off their 4-game West Coast road trip. Not only that, this is the first game of a back-to-back. They play the Celtics tomorrow, so somewhat could be a little bit look ahead. If the Wizards do win this game today, I will be fading them tomorrow and vice versa, my guys. So it's a terrible spot for the Wizards. That's one of those things that really does bode well for the Timberwolves here. Shark, what do you think about that? The spot for the Wizards? Completely.
Outside of all the points I made prior, this is the ultimate sandwich spot. You come in here off a long road trip on the West Coast, 3-1 straight up and ATS. Of course, they did get blown out at the Clippers in a game we suggested would happen in that fashion. And then they play at Boston tomorrow. Obviously, Boston, divisional opponent, conference opponent, and just a way bigger emotional spot. This is your ultimate sandwich letdown spot here tonight for Washington.
Yeah, and so with a great question in the chat. Who's going to score? Who's going to keep them in the game? Oh, I'll tell you who. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not on the Timberwolves here. I hope they cash for my guy, but give me Karl-Anthony Towns, the best. So just look at it's a lot of different angles going to this. Karl-Anthony Towns, since new coach, he's realized, hey, we got to get him, put him in the post more. We got to run the offense through him a lot more. Obviously, he's our best player on the team. He's the mismatch nightmare for a lot of teams. He's going to be a mismatch nightmare for the Wizards. Wagner, he's been playing a lot better. Hachimura as well. But if the Timberwolves are going to stay even within 10 points here, Karl-Anthony Towns has to go off for at least 30 points. I like the points, rebound, assists. I like the points. I took the points. So they had it at over 27 and a half on Bovada minus 125. I hate laying the juice, but I did put some on there. And then I also took the alternate over 30 points at plus 108. So I like for Karl-Anthony Towns to go off in this game, win or lose. He has to have a damn good game in this one to keep them in. He's been balling lately. They've been losing. I think Karl-Anthony Towns will put the team on his back tonight, win or lose. I see him going for 35 points, going bonkers. I like the points, rebounds, assists as well. I think because his assists has been going up as well since they've been playing through him through the post. They might go and double team him, then he kick it out to the shooters. So it's tough. They won't have Beasley here, but Karl-Anthony Towns, in my opinion, will be I'm not gonna say one-man show because it's still a team, but I really think he's going off for 30 tonight, period. 35 for Towns. I think he's going off. So if anybody want to ask, say you name one scorer, yeah, but that's my play. Over Karl-Anthony Towns, points, 27 and a half, minus 125. That's the play. I feel like that play is the best play in this game, to be honest with you.
Jay, just to answer that question very loosely, I give you one specific reason. These are professional basketball players. Every one of these guys is of the highest possible quality. This is the smallest possible rosters in American sports. You got 53 on football. You got 35 in baseball. Hockey's got this is the smallest roster. These guys train harder, train faster, smarter. They're here for a reason. And not only that, when Malik Beasley's out, we say it every night. These guys are playing for contracts. They're playing for respect. They're playing for their career. And of course, the other side of this, Washington looks at a lackluster roster, and there is your Ciroc on ice element. I'm telling you, get into the mind of a pro athlete. If you're a grinder on the bench, you want to play your absolute best game. Conversely, if you're Westbrook Beal and the guys, this is a night out, man. You're chilling. This is not a hockey-inspired spot. So
it looks like Jalen Noah will come into the starting lineup and try to produce. They do have a lot of players, just like Char say, they still play really hard. Jaden McDaniels, Jordan McLaughlin, guys who Okogie hadn't been playing well. Maybe this is a game where he'll try with Beasley out. Okogie has to step back up, guys. At one point, he was the starting lineup. I remember last year he really had a breakout year. Player that nobody knew about, but he really came out scoring like 20 points a game. This year, he's falling all the way off the cliff. I'm talking about really out of the rotation. It's mainly because Anthony Edwards came in. Beasley's really stepped up. So Okogie with Beasley out, he's really going to have to step back up here. Anthony Edwards, you're going to need him to ball out tonight. Vanderbilt's another one of those underrated players who's trying to play for a contract. Really, everybody on the Timberwolves, damn near, other than Rubio and Towns, are trying to play for contracts. So, I mean, other than Anthony Edwards, but he has a lot to prove as well. So, yeah, I mean, the Wizards are playing really well right now. I had to give them that locked in. It's I'm not going to say it's hard for me to go against them right now because I really want to tomorrow. I'm going to be watching this game closely. I think that the Celtics will smack the Wizards up and get some revenge tomorrow. It's another revenge game, like you say, where they did beat Minnesota. It was in Minnesota. It was a must-win spot. Timberwolves are playing terrible. They're playing a lot better now. So this is definitely an intriguing game here, my guy.
One final point on this. One of the best spots in all sports betting is finding a team on a long losing streak that has to win a game. Look at last night. Top plays. Lakers were on an L4, win. Boston L3, win. And Dubs were off an L revenge game. Also, who won last night? Sacramento off an L9. So truly, when you look at sharp analytics, it's usually finding teams that are going to move in another direction towards their long-term average. I always say this. Was Sacramento destined to lose 50 straight games? No. So think about the long-term average and where the team is in a small window versus where they should move towards that average. Key point here.
Exactly. And another thing that Halliburton had went out in that game yesterday for the Kings, and that line pretty much still held. So that was what my guy was saying earlier with that Pacers game. If Brogdon's if he's ruled out, the line still somewhere around, even if it's +1 for the Pacers, that's still not, it should go up. Well, it wouldn't go up too far, but it probably would go to like Knicks, maybe -1.5. And then some money, money will come in, push it up to maybe 2.5. I could see it. And then it may be the buy spot for the Pacers if he is ruled out. But let's get to, but yeah, Naz Reid will probably eat as well. He's another underrated player for the Timberwolves who plays really hard every single game. But Karl Anthony Towns, over 27.5 points, -125. I also played the alternate over 30 points at +108, just because I hate laying that juice. But I saw somebody earlier in the chat said they could get 26.5. Karl Anthony Towns points over. I like for him to go for at least 35 here. Bunkers. There's nobody really on the Wizards to start to guard him or contain him, if you want to be honest with. Let's get to another one, bro. You want to touch on this? I just want to touch on this Nuggets versus OKC spot real quick. I know OKC plays guys really tough. They only lost by 2 to the Nuggets and were up by double digits in that game. You got a little bit different dynamic here. The Nuggets coming in off the terrible loss versus the Wizards, where if you guys know, Jamal Murray had the ball, possibly should have pulled up for the 3, pass it over to I think it was Morris or Michael Porter Jr. Regardless, they took a lot of heat for not going in for the 2, making it go to overtime, or just a terrible play there. At the end of the game, they're taking a lot of heat at it. Jamal Murray going on Twitter, all types of shit. They're in somewhat of a rut right now, but this is one where I think they could come out motivated and smack the shit out of OKC, who plays really good defense, but the offense is there. So if Nuggets come to play defensively, I really do think that they can win this game by double digits as long as they come in motivated, which I think they are. Any quick thoughts on this one, my guy?
This actually kind of reminds me of the Indy dynamic against the Knicks. The opener, Indy blew out the Knicks. Then they lost at home to the Knicks. Now they come back on the road. Same thing. Denver blew out Oklahoma City 119-101, and then they beat them by 2 points on a double-digit line, 97-95. Jay and I discussed that privately. That was the game before the Lakers' revenge game at home for Denver. So that was just a complete play-down spot for Denver. Denver is 2-0 straight up. They're 1-1 ATS, both at home. And I think coming back on the road, the 7 is a very well-averaged number. I think that's not really telling you much of the story. But I think the key point on fading Oklahoma City here tonight, I got the fade hat on here yet again. Tomorrow we'll have the buy hat. We're going buy hat, buy hat. I got to get one for tomorrow too. But that being said, Oklahoma City has been really poor this year on the third leg, back-to-back, final step spot. At home, lost to Orlando by 11 on a 4.5. They got blown out by the Lakers at home. They got blown out by somebody else at home. This is just not the spot they function well in. And they are coming in here off 2 impressive wins, 2-0 ATS last 2, and a clustered solid performances coming in here tonight. It's a good fade spot of Oklahoma City.
Exactly. I think Denver smacks them, man. They could possibly get JaMychal Green and Gary Harris back here as well. And yet, Jamal Murray could have possibly pulled up for the three, could have possibly drove in, tried to get a foul, anything. Instead, he passed it over there to Campazzo, of all people, for the game-winning three. There's just no way in hell I'm passing it to him. I'm sorry. If I'm Murray, I'm going for it myself. Maybe Michael Porter Jr., but there's not many other people that I trust other than Jokic or Michael Porter Jr. over Murray to make that three. So that's why he took. But yeah, Campazzo, there's no way in hell. She's a good player. He should be taking game-winning threes. There's no way, never. So that's on Murray right there. I think they know, like I say, could possibly get Harris. They have been a little different team without JaMychal Green. He's pretty much their dog off the bench. So if they get him back here, I might have to sprinkle on a Nugget. I definitely think this is a Nuggets spot here. And like you say, OKC off a couple. They don't really play well at the house, guys. Just look at the numbers. And they've won the past two games. They took care of us they took care of me versus the Spurs. Lou Dort game winning shot. Then the last game they really got up and beat the Hawks there. Like you say, back-to-back spot. It should be interesting to see, man, if the Nuggets would come out here and smack OKC, my guys. I want to talk about this Mavs versus Nets game, man. It's one I was talking about earlier this morning with my guy. He knows in the chat. And so I just feel like if I liked the Mavericks before, even if I was leaning that way and was this close to taking them, it's not necessarily scared of fading the Nets, because I still don't think they're just superbly defensively. It's just about them trying to outscore their opponent. The Mavs have actually started to play a lot better defense now. Oh, they get Porzingis in here tonight. No Kyrie. I had to take the Mavs here. I already leaned them +4 with Kyrie and Harden in there. I think there was a winnable game with no Kyrie. Come on now, bro. I had to give me the Mavs. I got them +4. I took on the money line. So that, since I'm on the money line, I'll say that +1, -1 official play for me. Mavs. That is my play of the day. My official play. Mavs, my guys. Let's fucking go. I think this is a little letdown spot for the Nets here.
Yeah, no comment there. I looked at this one and after seeing Brooklyn just annihilate Orlando on a spot that I thought was a pretty good spot for Orlando. Of course, Orlando's not Dallas, but Brooklyn is one of those teams right now that I'm just a little afraid of. And also, the last time Brooklyn did have a game without their studs, they did cover at Phoenix. There is a weird emotional factor, teams coming in without their players. No disagreement. I'm not going to sit here and talk you off it, but just no play for me. Anyway, do you want to go to the other two, just loose commentary? I think the next one with any sort of merit. The last two are very much just ambiguous, no play spots. New Orleans at San Antonio. You had a couple of comments on this, I think.
Man, yeah, I didn't make a play on it, man. They got DeRozan in there. Like I said, I have a whole lot more. Just to go back real quick, man. I know that the Nets have won. This is one where I'm not really scared of, man. Like I say, their defense, their perimeter defense is not all the way up to par. Even if they had Kyrie in there, I do think this was a game where the Nets are starting to get somewhat complacent, even versus the Magic. They went on a huge run. The Magic can't score, man. The Magic were in that game for a second. So, I mean, they were in that game in the second quarter, in the first quarter. There was a Magic were going back and forth with them. Then the Nets really just took off on them. Same thing versus the Kings. The sorry Kings that don't play any defense. They hung with the Nets. And this is both of them with Kyrie and Harden in there. We still can't forget that they don't have KD. They've really been balling over there on their West Coast road trip. They come back to the house, had 2 wins. I just really feel like this is a real complacent spot, letdown spot. You see Kyrie say, I don't want to play here. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's just not a spot. That even speaks volumes even more to the spot where the Nets just don't necessarily care about this game as much. They're at the house. They're comfortable, fat and happy. All-Star break here coming up. It's just one where I guess Kyrie was like, I'm just going to rest up a little bit. Harden did it by himself in Phoenix. They had to go back and outscore them 40-26 in the fourth quarter. Come back. I don't see it here. And Porzingis coming back for the Mavs. He kind of messes things up, to be honest with you. But in this situation, can't hurt. They coming off their loss. I think they finna get this. A Mavs fan, let's fuck the little Twitter hashtag, Mavs fans for life. Mavs for me. I got them on the money line at a better price, but I'll still make that +1 or -1 official, bro. But yeah, Pelicans versus Spurs. Lean Pelicans, but Spurs got DeRozan coming back. I'm staying out for it, my guy. What you got?
It looks like we've been blessed by the presence of the Bible study, otherwise known as NBA Saturday afternoon chats. That being said, I think we're going to go to San Antonio here. And a couple points here. Jay and I were talking this morning. We initially leaned New Orleans. The one thing about this spot that I liked for New Orleans was the number. Early season, New Orleans did lay 4.5, 5 at home against San Antonio. At that point, New Orleans was pretty lackluster. I actually had them -5, and they won the game 98-95. I believe they missed a couple free throws down the stretch, and it was obviously a very well-graded game by the books on the average. But New Orleans did have a chance to cover that game, and they did not. And I think when you really look at these games, particularly in the same division where they played numerous times, there's a bit of a rivalry. The games are pretty sharply weighted. Just in terms of a numerical dispersion towards an average, I do think New Orleans, theoretically, on this same sharp type of number, as they did not cover the previous one at home, there is more of a lean to them covering it on the road. There is a lot of times more of a road efficiency, particularly in this campaign without fans. The only issue here is it is a revenge game for San Antonio. And San Antonio did just tank that game to Oklahoma City, which, of course, Lou Dort hooked us all up with some nice cash money at the end of that game. But, you do get San Antonio coming in here off the loss and a revenge game, and they had the COVID break. So the previous game was the expected letdown point off the COVID break. This could be a bit of a buy. Lean New Orleans on the number based on, as I said, the dispersion versus an average long term. But, again, the game is way too merged for me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a heavy lean to the Pelicans for me. I do think that they were favored. They beat the Spurs that first time and that's when the Pelicans weren't playing well and the Spurs were playing well. Like, I really remember that game because I was like, why are the Pelicans laying 5 here? Like, the bookmakers just really think they really think that the Pelicans are that much better than the Spurs. Even on this game, they come in laying -4 on the road here when they were laying -5 at the house. Obviously, some injuries had some part of the play to that. They're still without Derek White. They're still without Keldon Johnson as well, who they're going to need him to bang with Zion. They really don't have a matchup for him. It looks like LaMarcus. So DeMar DeRozan will be back from his father had just passed away or whatever. He will be back for sure. Let's see who will. So LaMarcus Aldridge is questionable. He could possibly come back tonight. That's why you see the line going to go all over the place. But it looks like Derek White, Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, and Vassell and Witherspoon are still out for this game. The Pelicans, they're -2.5 on the road. They might not be without. They may be without JJ Redick in this game, which could hurt some little production off the bench because they really need those threes. And the JJ Redick and Zion have actually played really well this season together on the floor. For some reason, a little pick and roll with JJ Redick and Zion has been working wonders for them, so they could possibly hurt them. It's still Pelicans or nothing for me. I know the Spurs will play hard even without their guys. They got DeRozan back, which DeMar DeRozan is a real emotional player. Even though he is back from his dad passing away, I could still possibly see it being in his head. He is the player that could possibly go off for that, but still he's said himself he's just not mentally strong. So I could really still see that weighing in on him, maybe not being himself. It's two ways you could look at it. He could not be himself, or he could go off and play for his dad. So it's two ways to look at it. Exactly. So I'm staying off this game. I'm staying off of it.
It's like outside of the box comment, but when Kobe passed, of course, tragically a year ago, when the Lakers reopened at Staples, they played Portland, and Portland blew them out. And of course, we're not fortunate to have this channel yet. We're really at the beginning of the greatest times. But I went on record on my channel and I said this could go one of two ways. Lakers could come out so energized and just impassioned by this passing, or they could be totally useless. It's a coin flip, and they were totally useless. Same thing with DeMar DeRozan here tonight. He could go off for 50, like Brett Favre's Monday Night Football game after his dad died, 4 touchdowns, best game of his career, or he could just be 1 of 10 from the field and be sitting on the bench just sulking. So we don't know.
Exactly. And so just the last key point on that, DeMar DeRozan came out like when he got traded from Toronto to San Antonio, he come out saying, hey, he had really, really bad depression issues. He came out and said, hey, he wasn't mentally strong at the point that he's, you know what I'm saying? He's just not, it's not the type of guy he is. Different type of people, man. So I'm leaning towards the one to where he may not have a good game. It's just me personally. It's just me. Like I said, I don't have, I know he's coming back, but I think maybe DeRozan type player, he should take a little bit more time off. But we'll see what happens today, man. You know what I'm saying? RIP to his dad. I hope everything goes well for him. You hate to see anybody lose anybody, man. I lost my brother, man. I got, you know what I'm saying, got a chain made with him on my guy. So, you know what I'm saying? My son got it for me, man. So, but yeah, anybody that's lost anybody, it can be tough, bro. So yeah, I ain't even finna do all that, man. But yeah, rest in peace all to the fallen soldiers. And I hope DeRozan's all right. To be like, in all honesty, I hope he's good, man, because I know how it is when you can lose somebody. But yep, Mavs for me, man. I got him +4 money line. I still like him. Obviously, I like him to win the game. So Mavs will be my official play. I'm still monitoring that. I do have a little something on the Pacers already, but I'm still monitoring that. I was gonna put another full unit on it. He's waiting what's up with Brogdon. If he's out, I probably won't add any more to it. But I have some small on it. But official. Mavs for me, that's the play that's my main play today. And then Karl Anthony Town props over points over 27 and a half minus 125 for me, my guy. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, and before we close out, just two comments. The other two games, obviously big spreads against one really terrible team and one team that is just befuddled by injuries and just kind of scatter plot locker room psychology. That would be Orlando. Orlando comes home. Junior Brown, hilarious comment. He said, "Where's downtown Orlando? Does it exist?" I don't think so. Locally, it's pretty lame, to be honest. That being said, Utah does come in here off of a loss last night to Miami. We talked about that last night. We thought Miami might show up. I think you do get a nice buy low on Utah here. However, Orlando's just very tough to predict. They do show up occasionally. It's field goal percentage outliers. It's where does their inspiration come? Vucevic, again, not Sasha Vujacic per day.
Vucevic. It's Vucevic.
It's the role player, wing 3-point shooter. As I said, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant Lakers, 2008, 2009. But all that being said, I think the lean here would be Utah because Utah is Utah and they're a bloodbath tour and Orlando's terrible. But again, there's always that other side. Utah has been way too hot forever, and it's very possible they could lay down a couple games in a row. They're not going to blow everybody out forever.
And just a quick point to that. I remember last year when it's not last year's Jazz team. Well, it is. They're just playing different. It's literally the same fucking team though. But there was last year what I noticed when they were on a streak or whatever, and they were on a streak, like they would win the back-to-back games. You know what I'm saying? But when they did lose the first one, they would sometimes tend to lose the second one. I'm not saying that they're going to lose to the Magic here, guys. I'm just saying that's just how the Jazz were, and this was last year, so it's not even the same, I guess, mindset of the team. But last year, sometimes when they would lose their first game of the back-to-back, they would somewhat seem to lose the second game as well. And I said before the Miami Heat game, Jazz are on the opposite side of the United States. Now it's a different time zone. Just could admit when you're in such a good rhythm, it's not much that takes you to get out of it, in my opinion. And with them being, it's a different schedule, it's a different sleep schedule, everything. Now you're on a back-to-back as well. I'm not trying to talk anybody on the Magic. I don't have anything on this game, guys. I'm just letting you guys know. Like I put in the description, we're giving you guys betting angles to take with you in the future. You see what I'm saying? So you just listen to what we say. It might be an angle that you could use for this one in a different type of spot. You just always watch these. And I mean, me laying double digits on the road, or even in the NBA game period, even at the house, I need really a lot of motivation. So I remember we talking about that Philly spot, and they did lose to Cavs earlier this year. So maybe Philly does come out and want to smack the shit out of them, and that one real quick. So, but yeah, that's the card, bro. Any other? He say Shark. Andrew Solomon says Shark. What are your picks, bro? So break them off with your officials.
I will be patient. 30 seconds here. We want to make one more comment. Orlando is similarly graded right now to how the Knicks were early season. The Knicks have improved, and Utah did lose at New York 112-100 with authority, and Utah will turn it off emotionally. I think last night's loss was much more so on Miami. Miami is coming hard, and it was a revenge game. In recent history, Miami had gotten blown out at Utah, but I think tonight is the total opposite. I think if Utah doesn't cover this tonight, it's going to be because Utah is not mentally there. This is not so much on Orlando. It's whether or not Utah just lays an egg tonight.
Exactly. And, yeah, that goes back to what I was saying last year when they would lost, you know what I'm saying? But that's the biggest difference. Mentally, they're in a different spot that they are this year. So that's a game that I'm staying off. I mean, I understand why people are taking the Jazz. I wouldn't talk anybody else, especially as hot as they are and off the loss against a blowoutable Magic team like this. So it's a lot of different moving parts. But yeah, if you're ready to get out or anything else you got to say, man, break them off.
Well, that's it. I think, Senate Saturday, beers need to flow. Money needs to be made. Strike Waters Nation. 9 words of lifestyle, ride whatever get out of the water. Top 2 picks, Indy -1.5 or pending Brogdon. But as I said in the previous comments, scroll back on that. And I'm taking Minnesota at +4 now. Was +4.5. I think this is the spot they really are. It's going to be one bucket, and they could win out right here. So top 2 plays, top will send it Saturday. J Money's Money, Sharks and Sports. Sign them out.
Hey, that goes right with it, bro. You like the Timberwolves? I like Karl Anthony Towns points over. Excuse me. He's definitely going to be the one that keeps them in the game. If so, in my opinion, those two go hand in hand. I really like that Karl Anthony Towns prop, guys. I really do. This was a game I looked at and I said, I'm not playing this game. I'm taking Karl Anthony Towns points over. I really think that's the best play in this game. Maybe even points, rebounds, assists as well. I think that he's gonna be the best player on the floor for the Timberwolves here, and he could probably, if he's the best player on the floor, period, then the Wolves will get the job. This is a terrible spot for the Wizards, guys. So I know everybody like them, how they've been playing real well lately. Just know this is an absolute terrible. Sometimes you have to just simply look at the spot. And that's why this line is so low. It's why everybody saying, "Oh, the lines look super low." Ooh, okay, but I mean, people are gonna take Wizards no matter what we say. But I hope you catch that Timberwolves play, bro. That's definitely the sharp side for me. Give me the Mavs. I got them on the money line and +4, but give them to me at what's the market right now? What should be +1, right? Yeah, I'm gonna take. So +1, -1. I'm on the Mavs to win, man. So give me the +1. Give me the +1, -1 money line. Mavs today. I got the blue shirt on. I might have to. So I got the Mavs socks and the shorts on. Yeah, Mavs to play today, man. Mavs, man. And then Karl Anthony Towns over 27.5 points. -125. For me, my guys. So I guess that's 2. I know I've been doing 1 a day. I'm gonna go with 2 official plays today. That 1 prop, I never do props, and I don't have nearly as much on it with the Mavs. The Mavs are the play, but secondary, my guys. Points, rebound, points. Karl Anthony Towns. We finna get out of here. 156 people watching live. We appreciate everybody for coming and tuning in with us on this Saturday. You could be, out doing whatever, and you're watching us, man. So, or listening. I appreciate you guys. If you can, hit the like button. I do believe you have to be signed into YouTube to hit the like button. So, if you don't mind, hit the like, give us a subscribe, and share the show, man. Even if you're not signed in, don't want to hit the like. If you could tell somebody about the show, that'll go far for me and my guy here. Follow us on Twitter as well. If you're not following us, at J Money is Money, at Shark and Sports. That's my co-host there, and my partner in crime. Let's keep running it up and stay on the high street, my guys. We're about to get out of here. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We gone.
Thanks, guys.